Hello, everybody, and welcome back again to another portion of the story entitled Augustus by Hermann Hesse. This is the second section in portion 30, and in order to get the context, I'm going to ask our guest speaker, Sierra, to read just a couple of lines from the earlier passage, then we'll take off and work through the current passage. And as you know, as I read aloud, Sierra will repeat after me, and please read with her, and then I'll ask questions and try to think up what the answers would be as we unpack the meaning of these sentences together. Okay, Sierra, you want to read a couple of those lines in the prior passage?
Sure. The mother took her small one onto her breast and was delighted that he was so cute and strong. She thought about his dead father, who had not been able to see him, and tears welled up in her eyes. And she pressed the little orphan boy to her heart and had to smile again. And thereupon she fell asleep together again with the little lad. As she woke up, again, milk and a soup were cooked and the child wrapped in new swaddling clothes.
Great. Okay, so here we go. Let's see, I'm sure you can see this. And we'll try to keep to 12 minutes. Actually, the first two sections are a little bit longer. The next following are quite short. Okay, here we go. Bald aber war die Mutter wieder gesund und stark und konnte für sich und den kleinen Augustus selber sorgen. Everybody?
Bald aber war die Mutter wieder gesund und stark und konnte für sich und den kleinen Augustus selber sorgen.
So up to here, where's your verb?
War.
Good, okay. And subject is?
Die Mutter.
Okay, good. So she was again soon, however. And aber can mean but or however. The mother was again healthy and strong, going on. And where's the verb complex after und?
Konnte sorgen.
Yeah, konnte sorgen. So when the O does not have an umlaut, it just means was able to do something. So this is sort of the complementary infinitive, so-called. So we put it like a curvy line under this one. So and she was able to care for. So you have für sich, for herself, and für, which also applies to this. Now you see this in the accusative, because für takes the accusative. For the small Augustus herself. And going on. Und da kam ihr der Gedanke, everybody?
Und da kam ihr der Gedanke,
dass nun der Sohn getauft werden müsse.
Dass nun der Sohn getauft werden müsse.
Und dass sie keinen Paten für ihn habe.
And dass sie keinen Paten für ihn habe.
Okay, where's the verb in that first part?
Come.
Yeah, so at that point, come the thought, and what case is ear?
Dative to her.
Good, yeah, great, to her, right here. So this way, very good. And das man, what does das introduce? An independent or a subordinate clause?
Subordinate.
Yeah, so always then the verb comes at the end. And you'll notice also the helping verb also reverses to the end. So where's your verb complex there before the und?
Getauft werden müsse.
This whole thing, yeah. That now what mood is musa? And don't think of chocolate mousse, but even though I had a little bit of chocolate mousse ice cream last night, a sample of it a little bit. Sorry. So mousse is subjunctive, and
Subjunctive, yeah.
And here's another subjunctive here with habe as we look forward. Now, why is the subjunctive required here? Sarah?
Because of the das.
Yeah, das, and also it's actually indirect speech. So and then at that point the thought came to her. So then they're going to explain what the thought is, but it's not her stating something directly, but something that's indirect. So indirect speech reporting what someone else said or what someone else had a thought about would go into the subjunctive in German. Okay,
Okay.
let's see. So why don't you try? So why don't you just translate here? And at that point came the thought to her, and going on.
That now her son must be baptized or must
Good.
become baptized,
hmm
and that she has no godfather for him.
Yeah. Now, let's see. In the sequence of tenses, um, since the main clause has a past tense, then the subordinate clauses, which are introduced by das, and this is sort of a technicality that you would probably learn a little bit later. Even though this is the present tense, this means it indicates simultaneous time with the main verb. So even though this is present, then you could say that now the son had to be baptized, and that she had no godfather for him. So that's a technicality that you might want to think about a little bit, or maybe you're familiar with it. Okay, let's go on. Da ging sie gegen Abend,
Da ging sie gegen Abend,
als es dämmerte und aus dem Nachbarhäuschen wieder die süße Musik klang.
als es dämmerte und aus dem Nachbarhäuschen wieder die süße Musik klang.
Zu dem Herrn Binswanger hinüber.
Zu dem Herrn Binswanger hinüber.
Okay, so this is a situation where we're going right from here, and the sentence goes all the way down to this point here. Okay, so where's your verb complex? And it's fairly complex to find.
Ging hinüber.
Okay, so we had a little prep time before to identify this, and this is a little bit a challenging sentence, but if you identify the verb complex first, it always makes things easier. So this means she went over there, hinüber, over to the house. And so this is your subject here. So she went over to the house. So that's your core sentence. Now, since you have da at that point, and then you have some phrases giving the setting of the time of day and that sort of thing, then all that really has to be translated first, and you would hold aside for a second the core sentence, which she went over to, and this completes that to Herrn to Mr. Binswanger. Okay, but let's fill out the rest of it. Since at that point, toward evening, and then als. Where's the verb there? Following the als.
Als dämmerte.
Yeah. So as it turned toward dusk, and then where's another verb there in that introduced by als?
Klang.
Klang. Yeah. So you're looking for verbs because even in subordinate clauses, as you have introduced here by als, you do have to identify the verbs first. So as it turned toward dusk, and as, again, the sweet music sounded from, and what is a CHEN?
It's a diminutive.
Good, a diminutive ending. Always referring to little things. As again, the sweet music sounded from the little neighboring house, and as it turned toward dusk, she went over there to Mr. Binswanger. So that's how you translate the whole thing. And I'll have let's see. Why don't you just translate the whole paragraph down to there? Is that okay?
Sure.
Sierra, yeah, go ahead.
From the start.
Yeah, from the beginning. Bald.
Okay. Soon, however, the mother was again healthy and strong, and was able to care for herself and for the small Augustus herself. And there came to her the thought that the son must now become baptized
hmm
and that she has no godfather for him.
Good. Um, good. And this could be had to be, and then also had no
Had
godfather.
no.
Yeah. And then do the next
Keep going.
sentence. Our
Okay.
challenging sentence.
Then toward evening, as it turned toward dusk, and the sweet music sounded again from the little neighboring house, she went over to Mr. Binswanger.
Yeah, good. Exactly. Yeah, great. Okay. All right, going on. Sie klopfte schüchtern an die dunkle Türe. Everybody?
Sie klopfte schüchtern an die Dunkeltüre.
Da rief er freundlich herein
Da rief er freundlich herein
und kam ihr entgegen.
und kam ihr entgegen.
Okay, so up to that point, let me just erase the top part here for a second. Okay, so klopfen is sort of an onomatopoetic sound because it comes from klopfen. You get the sense of horse hoofs on the ground, but it
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
to klop, but it also means to knock on a door. Klopfen, knock. So, and schüchtern means shyly or modestly. So she knocked shyly. This is actually an adverb. She knocked shyly on the dark or modestly on the dark door. And at that point, he called, maybe translate, he called out in a friendly manner. This is an adverb with no endings on these as versus adjectives which do have endings. He called out in a friendly manner, come in, herein, a very common phrase to come in. And he came over to her entgegen. So this is what this means, come entgegen. So entgegenkommen would be the where you would find it, or what you would actually find in the dictionary. Okay, let's go on. Die Musik aber war plötzlich zu Ende.
Die Musik aber war plötzlich zu Ende.
Und im Zimmer stand eine kleine alte Tischlampe.
Und im Zimmer stand eine kleine alte Tischlampe
Vor einem Buch.
vor einem Buch.
Und alles war wie bei anderen Leuten.
Und alles war wie bei anderen Leuten.
So other things about this Herr Binswanger are quite odd and unusual and mystical or magical. But in this case, everything in the room looked normal, as it said right there. Okay, so let's see. From here, die Musik war plötzlich zu Ende. Where's the verb?
War.
Yeah, simply. Yeah. The music, however, was suddenly, or had come to an end, or literally was suddenly to an end, or we have to supply come, had suddenly come to an end. And in the room, what is this im a contraction for?
In dem.
This happens to be a neuter noun. In dem, if this were feminine, what would this? You would actually have in der, because that the in der cannot be contracted into two letters. So in the room there stood a small old table lamp in front of a book, for einem Buch, and then and alles and everything was as in the case of other people, so normal. So what is this image? I mean, how do you picture this, Sierra? This the old table lamp in front of a book.
To me, it sounds like the book is open in front, like the light is lighting up the book.
Okay. So
as if he was reading or something.
So something that he was just in the midst of reading, or so, when she came over.
Uh-huh.
So one might ask, well, what kind of a book does he read, or what's he interested in reading? And so the music which had come out before, as she came in, all of a sudden was silenced. No longer existed. So that's a kind of interesting sort of thought that comes there too. Okay, well, thanks so much for everyone for tuning in again, and let me just check here. So that's the end of the second section. So hopefully you'll come back and hear the third, fourth, and fifth section of this very interesting narrative. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.